What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm here with our cousin Paige right now. This is Paige Rosine. She is our cousin. She lives in New York, not too far from Courtney, and we are having a girls' weekend. We wanted to feature Paige's apartment for this episode about how to decorate small spaces because she's absolutely amazing at it. Her apartment is so incredibly cute and well put together, and she does such a great job of figuring out how to maximize the space. So I thought we could take a little tour of her place and she could show us a few techniques that she uses to effectively decorate a, how big do you think that this place is?
Like 750.
750 square feet. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so she's gonna show us a couple of tips that she has for decorating a small space under 1,000 square feet, even under 800 square feet. It's like so many of us live in these smaller spaces, and I think that we can always use all the help we can get to figure out how to best maximize that space. Paige and her husband Trevor's apartment is a 750 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. You enter through a short hallway into the main area, which is an open plan kitchen and living space. At the far end of the apartment are both bedrooms, one of which serves as Paige's work studio for her flower pressing business, The Printed Paige. Because each area of the apartment is relatively limited in size, they've done a great job of getting creative with the space, which brings us to small space tip number 1. Get creative with storage. You gotta find creative ways to maximize your storage, right? First, let's look at their kitchen island, which stores tons of bulky kitchen essentials on its shelves. And this looks so cute.
This is also it drove me insane that this was open. And this I got from West Elm, and it was a shower curtain. I got these, I think they're French old curtain clips from Etsy.
I love that you engineered this yourself. You kind of just were okay, I know that I need to cover this up, but building a door would be a whole situation.
Yeah, I'm not about to do that.
The curtain is so cute, and it adds such a cute texture to the room and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel that's one of the things that helps so much.
Is it for the kitchen and for the island?
Wait, that is sweet. So I didn't even know there was stuff back there.
Yeah, so it's a really small window, and there's no view, so we don't really keep it open a lot, but it's just another area that we can put.
That's our Aperol from our Aperol spritzes.
Yeah,
I love that. Paige also found creative ways to go vertical in her kitchen storage. Using wall space.
Yeah, for sure using wall space. The one thing my mom always taught me was to go up, and we have our electric, we have our electric box behind here.
This is such a good idea to hide that.
And then also I just put kitchen shit in here.
It's so cute though. It looks really, it looks
I feel I can make it, add more to it, but it's whenever I don't have a, for kitchen, I'm I'll just put it in there.
In her work studio, Paige used 2 antique pieces to create the perfect work desk solution that allowed for maximum storage and still fit aesthetically with her signature vintage style. So Paige is an entrepreneur and an amazing creative. She runs a business called The Printed Paige, and I'll let you explain a little bit more about what you do. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I work with flowers, primarily brides from their wedding. And I'll take their flowers after their wedding or events, baby showers, whatever, and press them and frame them and send them back to them. So I need a lot of space to do it because I'm always working with tons of flowers, and so
this is your workstation, and I love how you have this set up, and you were saying that your storage down here, this is an antique piece, and you this isn't one desk. This is this thing exists, and then you put this on top of it, and it looks so cool.
Yeah, and it's just nice to be able to store art and stuff, and my work. I got it on Facebook Marketplace again, and it's so big, but I was I'm just gonna make it work. I will, and I hired a TaskRabbit, and they came and connected the two and hinged it to the wall.
It's so cool. I love it so much. That brings us to small space tip number 2, which is think outside the box and don't be afraid to try things. Not being afraid to try stuff. You said that was another thing that you feel is
that's
a huge.
My huge thing. I think I don't overthink things. I love going antiquing and to flea markets like you do, and I'm if I see something that I love, I don't really think if it's gonna work. If it's affordable. It's in my budget,
try it.
And it seems the right size or something, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, I don't sweat it. I donate it or try to sell it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to
try
risks.
To take risks.
Be confident. If I like it, I don't care if anybody else doesn't I like it.
I love that. I love how Paige lets her curiosity guide her when she's decorating and gives herself permission to always take risks, even if they don't always work out. Small space tip number 3 is to define your priorities and decide what's most important to you in terms of how you want to live in your space. So another thing we talked about that I think is hugely important in any space, but especially in a small space, is figuring out your priorities. So ranking what's important to you in your home, like as just yourself or as a couple or as a family. And for Paige and her husband Trevor, one of the things they love to do the most is to entertain. And so they love to have friends over, and Courtney's here. It's a whole hang. And then Paige's sister Faith is literally in the taxi on the way right now.
Might pop in.
Please tell me what's happening here.
You are so annoying. What are you doing?
It's a whole mood. You said one of your biggest priorities was to make sure that everyone could have a seat, even though like maybe other people or official interior design rules would say, oh, you know, you can only fit X amount of chairs in this space.
Yeah.
We're like, that's a priority for us. So we're gonna not be afraid to break the rules for that, and we're gonna make that work, right?
Yeah.
Like, tell me a little bit about like how you
Yeah.
kind of figured that out.
Yeah, I'm like, this bitch is my priority.
Yes.
Like,
So she comes
has to
over
have-
all the time.
Like she has to be comfy. Like
If I have a seat
my-
and a blanket, everyone's happy.
Yeah,
Exactly,
my favorite
of course.
thing ever is like having just like friends and people over and like sitting on the couch and being cozy and having a glass of wine and like talking.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that when people came over, like everyone was comfy and like felt like cozy and like comfortable to like do that. And so we have a ton of chairs and seating. So we wanted to make sure that everybody like felt comfortable, and it was super important to me. So we've rearranged our, I guess you could call family room, like many times to get the right seating. Like every time Courtney comes over, it's like probably did.
Yeah.
But I feel like we finally got to the spot where like it feels like with good like use of space and conversation is like really comfortable.
I love that you identified like that's important to us, so we're gonna worry less about like what are the exact scale measurements of everything, and we're gonna just make it work, and then you sacrifice other things, right? So you're like, okay, cool, we don't care about having a dining table, we want people to be able to be comfy, so instead of like finding space for that, we're gonna get like a big comfy couch, we're gonna get these chairs, we're gonna set it all up in a sense where that took priority, and you allowed yourself to like to make that something that you accommodate, which I think is really important. I love how you can really feel in Paige's apartment that creating a cozy conversation zone was a major priority for them. It's a really comfy and inviting place to be, and you can really tell that they made that a priority. Small space tip number 4 is to create zones to break up a small boxy space. So it can be really helpful to create sort of zones and do things to sort of break up the space so that it doesn't feel like just one big box, right?
Yeah, because it's kind of like a big square.
Yeah.
And so one of the things is the entryway. We added
Wainscoting,
You
guys added
and then
wainscoting.
A dressing, and wallpaper, and it helped just feel different than like our living space, even though it's literally right there. It just kind of made it feel like bigger, I guess, and like
it does look
another
bigger.
use of space, because that's where we put like our keys and like our wallets and our like dog leash. So I don't know, it just helps it feel like a different area.
It does. It really, I love this area so much. It's so pretty. I can't tell if I'm gonna be able to get it in the shot because of like, here we go. Okay. Yeah, this is like, I'm obsessed with this wallpaper. I love this paint color. And I really do feel like when you're in here, this makes a huge difference that this hallway has this contrast, like the visual contrast of the dark paint and the wallpaper with then next to like the bright white of the rest of your apartment. It feels so special. Like it really does make your space feel so much bigger than it did when you guys first moved in.
because you saw it before, like when we actually just moved in, I think that weekend.
Yeah, you had just moved in and it was so like, cute, but it's like, it looks huge now, and it's crazy that we're creating like another video about how dark paint can actually make a space look bigger if you do it right, and I feel like you guys totally accomplished that. It's amazing.
Another thing too is like when choosing the paint color, like I could go crazy and obsess over it for like so long if it's the right one.
Yeah.
But that's like another thing that I saw it and I immediately was like, I like this.
Yeah.
And then like testing it, and then if once you get home it doesn't work, like whatever, you go and get another color.
Paint over it,
You just can't be afraid to like do it.
So to wrap it up, the top tips we got from Paige's apartment for decorating small spaces are: Number 1, get creative with storage and find pieces that can do double duty. Number 2, think outside the box, follow your curiosity, and don't be afraid to try things out until you get it right. Number 3, define your priorities in the space and decide what's most important to you in your home. Number 4, find ways to create different zones within your space using tools like paint, wall art, wallpaper, rugs, and other contrasting elements to define separate areas and create the illusion of more space. We'd love to know what other design dilemmas we should tackle next, so let us know in the comments what topics you'd love to see us cover in this series, and also what questions you have. Be sure to subscribe for more design and lifestyle videos soon, and we'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, if you're ever in need of any flower pressing services or gifts, definitely be sure to check out the Printed Paige on Instagram. She is amazing.